And yeah, so Rahul, second time with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You can see your screen now.
Okay. Thanks, Om. Let me just.
Once again, I think, yeah, now good.
Is it
Everyone,
fine?
you can see your screen, or you can see the screen of Rahul. If not, please text us. Yes, Rahul, that's good.
Okay. I think it's. If someone can text just one time to me, uh, if anyone is having difficulty. Okay, it's good. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Rahul Malhotra, and today we are going to learn about how we can display warnings in Salesforce. So, I just want to jump start into the topic, but before that, just a little bit about me. I'm working as a senior Salesforce developer at Mandas Technologies currently, and apart from that, I am actually, uh, I should say, working a lot to make something good stuff in Salesforce. So you can just check out the GitHub repository. Like I have a lot of stuff that you can check out, a lot of tools and a lot of frameworks that I usually personally use, and I also open source that to make it available for everyone. So let's jump into the topic, and today we are going to talk about how we can display warnings in Salesforce. And I have created a tool for this, or I can say a package for this that you can install in your org, and then you can display the warning messages. Okay, so the topic, or I can say the tool name is Platform Event Toast, because this is a simple Lightning component that we can use to display warnings, and we can very easily install it in any of the org, and we can use it to show warning messages. So let me just open a new scratch org right now, and then we can continue to see what is the use case and how we can use this Platform Event Toast to show the warning messages in Salesforce, right? Okay, so just give me a second. I'll create a new scratch log very quickly. Uh, and I can use uh, layers as, let's say, platform event tools or right. Okay, so I hope that you are able to see my screen, right? I mean, just not the browser window, but also the command line that I'm using. Om, can you confirm me once?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can
we
see.
can.
If anyone have issue, please text us.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not having a look at the text, so just tell me if I need to stop in between, right?
Sure, sure. I am
Thank
checking the
you.
chat window. Sure.
Okay, so our scratch org is created. I'm just going to open that scratch org, CET org, right? And then we'll see how we can actually do that stuff. Okay, so this is a SketchUp that I'm going to use right now. So first step that you need to do if you want to use Platform Event Toast is to install the Platform Event Toast into your org, right? So I have created an unmanaged package for this stuff that you can use. So if you are having a developer environment or a production environment, you can just click on this particular link. I mean, I'll actually send the link into the chat window later. You can just go to the GitHub repository and you can check out this page where you can click the link to install the platform event toast in any kind of developer or production environment, right? And in case you want to install this into a sandbox environment, you can click this link, or you can just use the below URL, which is this particular URL to install the package in a sandbox environment. Okay, so this is a Sketchorg and it is basically a sandbox environment. So I'm going to use a second link that is this one to install the package into my sandbox environment. So I'm just going to copy this much of URL after .com and I'm going to paste it at the end of my org URL, right? Okay. Uh, yeah. So here you can see we have an option to install platform event toast. And if I just quickly show you the components that are there in the platform event toast, it has nothing. It has just two main components that are there. The first component that we have in this package is a platform event. So here you can see this is the platform event which is named as toast event, and then we are having some of the fields in that particular platform event, right? And the second component that we have is a lightning component or an LWC component mainly, which is named as platform event tools, right? So only this much of stuff we are having in this managed package, or sorry, unmanaged package. So we can simply install it in our org, and it doesn't take any kind of spacing or any kind of custom object that we usually have in other packages, right? So I'm just going to install it for admins for now. Let me install it and let's see how we can use it. Okay, so meanwhile it's installed. Let's have a look at a use case. So our use case here is like, let's say you are an awesome Salesforce admin and you want to actually fulfill a requirement, and your requirement is that whenever you are creating an account, or let's say whenever a sales representative is creating an account, and that account's revenue is greater than 50,000. So if the annual revenue for that particular account is greater than 50,000, the client asks you that you need to show a warning message that to the sales representative that hey admin, this should be the rating of the account should be hot and not anything else, right? So in that case, what you can do, I mean, the easiest thing that you can think of to install or to achieve this thing is to create a validation rule and show that to the user that hey, you need to change your account rating because your revenue is more than 50,000, so your rating should be hot, right? So, but the validation rule has one limitation that it will stop you from actually saving the record until you change the rating to hot. But in your use case, what you need to do, you actually need to show a warning message. But the client wants you that you shouldn't stop the user from saving the record because the record should be saved unless and until, I mean, it doesn't depend whether he is changing the rating to hot or not. The record should be saved in any case, right? So, I mean, this kind of a use case we are going to deal with by using platform event tools. So let me just go to the org and we'll see it in action. Okay, so I'm going to show you both the approaches by using a validation rule also and by using a platform event tool also, how we can leverage that. So just let me duplicate this tab once. And we have our platform event toast installed in our org that you can see here. And I'm also going to move on to the account object. And let's move on to accounts here. Okay, so let me create a new account very quickly, and the name can be Bihari SFDG, right? The rating is warm, and I'm going to get the annual revenue as 30,000, let's say. Right? Okay, so my use case is that whenever my annual revenue is moving above 50,000, I want to show a warning to the user that, hey, user, if the annual revenue is greater than 50,000, you should have a rating as hot, right? So what can I do? I mean, in general things, I can think of a validation rule. So I can quickly go to the validation rules here, and I can click on new to create a new validation rule for the account. And here I can give the rule name as, let's say, account account should have a rating as hot. This is perfect, right? So in this case, what I can do, I can simply check that if the annual revenue is greater than 50,000, right? So if the account's annual revenue uh, is greater than, let's say, 50,000, okay. In this case, I'm going to show the error message that your account rating should be hot, right? So account rating should be hot. And I'm going to save this validation. Okay, so my validation tool is now active, and it is actually checking if the annual revenue is greater than 50,000, then it will show me an error message that the account rating should be hot, right? Let's check our validation rule and let's see how it's working. So if I just edit my account and I change my annual revenue, yeah, it's annual revenue. Let's make it a 60,000, and I'm going to save this. It is showing me a message that my account rating should be hot, right? And I need to forcefully actually change the account rating to hot because unless I change the rating to hot, I cannot save this record. And if I change the rating to hot, then in that case, I'm able to save this record. But I think we did a mistake here, so let's correct this one. we actually need to add another condition that our rating should not be equal to hot, right? So let's add an and here. If our annual revenue is greater than 50,000 and if is equal rating. So let's check out the account rating. And hot, right? So if our account rating is not equal to hot, I think I can have an or here. And if our account rating is not equal to hot, and if our annual revenue is greater than 50,000, uh, I think and is fine. If these both the conditions satisfied, then in that case we are going to show a error message, right? Okay, so there are no errors. Let me save this. Okay, so if our annual revenue is greater than 50,000 and my account rating is not equal to hot, in that case, I'm going to show the error message, right? So in that, I mean, here I change the rating to hot, so I should be able to save my account now. So as you can see, I'm able to save the account if my annual revenue is greater than 50,000 and if my rating is hot. But in case I change my rating to something else, then I won't be able to save my account and I'll be getting an error message that the account rating should be hot, right? So here I can see I'm getting an error message. But in our case, what is the use case? Because the client is saying me that, hey, I don't want to stop the user or my sales representative from saving the record, but I also want to show a simple warning message that, hey, you should actually update the rating as hot, but it's not mandatory. I mean, you can either update or not, it's up to you, but ideally you should update the rating as hot, right? So instead of an error message, what we want here, we actually want a warning message so that we don't stop the user from saving the record, but we show a warning as well. So let's see how we can achieve this by using platform mementos instead of a validation rule, right? Okay, so I'm quickly going to deactivate this validation rule now. And now I think if I just change the rating to warm or something else, I should be able to save it because my validation rule is deactivated, right? And I'm also going to change the rating to something less than 50,000 because we are actually going to test it again using platform event tools. Okay, so I have updated my account. My annual revenue is now less than 50,000 and rating is warm. So we'll actually set up a warning message and we'll again see after updating the annual revenue whether we are able to set the rating as hot or not, or whether we are getting a warning message or not, right? So this time what I'm going to do, I have just deactivated the validation rule. So we are not going to use the validation rule now, but we are going to set up a process builder for this stuff, right? So let me just quickly go to process builder. Okay, so this is a new stat job. That's why I don't have any kind of process builder right now. I'm going to click on new and let's name our process builder as account process, right? And this process builder will start when a record changes. And I think this is enough for now. Let's save it. And so what do I need to do? I actually need to check out the annual revenue field of my account object, right? So I'm going to actually choose the object as account here. And I'll run my process builder whenever a record is created or edited, right? I think we can just move it here. And now for the criteria, we can check out if our annual revenue is greater than 50,000 and if our rating is not equal to hot, right? Because in that case, I need to show the warning message. So check annual revenue and rating. So I can simply check if my account's annual revenue is greater than 50,000, right? So if our account's annual revenue is greater than 50,000, and if our account's rating, let's choose rating here. So if our account rating is not equal to hot, right? So in case my revenue is greater than 50,000 and I haven't set my account as hot, or the account rating as hot, in that case, I want to show the warning, right? And if you want the warning to be specifically, shown at the time when only these changes are made to the account, in that case, you can check this checkbox. So I'm going to check this because I actually don't want the warning to come again and again whenever I make a change in account. I just want the warning to appear once when I'm actually setting my currency something less than something greater than 50,000 and my rating is not hot. So I just want the warning to appear once. So I'm checking this checkbox because I want to execute the actions only when the specified changes are made to the record, right? So I can simply check this and we are going to save this. Okay, so our conditions are set properly. Now I need to add an action, right? So for the actions, what I can do, I can simply check out an action which is named as create a record. And here I can name my action as, let's say, fire platform event tools. Right? Okay, and my record type for this creation of record will be toast event. Okay, so whenever you are actually choosing this toast event record type, it will actually create a record for platform event toast, and that record usually stays in our Salesforce system for a 24-hour period. So it actually doesn't cost you towards your data limits, and it because it stays for 24 hours and then it vanishes automatically. So you can simply choose the toast event here, and here you can specify a key field to identify this particular toast, right? So I have actually intentionally added this key field because it's easier to find the process builder when we are actually having a number of toasts in our system that are actually appearing on different use cases. So you can simply give our key as something, let's say rating is incorrect or something like that, right? So I have given my key here as rating is incorrect, and I'm going to copy this key because we are going to use it whenever the toast is displayed. So when we are actually adding our toast into our account detail page, we'll be using this key again. So I'm going to copy this key once, and I think that's it for this, right? So I'm going to save it, and we can activate our process filter. Okay, so what this process builder is going to do, it is actually going to run whenever an account is created or edited. It will check whether my annual revenue is greater than 50,000 and my account rating is not equal to hot. And when these both the conditions satisfy, it will actually fire a platform event for me, which is named as platform event, toast event. And the event will be having a key, which is named as rating is incorrect, right? So now I actually need to use this event to show a warning message at my account page, right? So what I can do, I can simply go to my account page now. Let's move on to account page, and I can choose edit page here to edit my page. So as I told you in the beginning that we are having just two things in this unmanaged package. The first thing is the platform event toast or the platform event, I should say. And the second thing is our lightning component, right? So I'm just going to choose my LWC component and embed it here. So let's search for our lightning component. Its name is platform event toast. As you can see, I'm having a component over here. I'm going to drag and drop it on the right side. So let's drag and drop it down here, right? I think I should just move it a little below because I don't want it to be visible. Yeah. So here I have added my toast component. It will not be visible because it doesn't have a body. This component is a lightning component, but without a body. So it will be invisible to the user. And I'm going to add a key to identify the toast. So this key is the same that we have actually set up in our process builder, right? So in our process builder, we added a key as rating is incorrect. So I'm just going to use this particular key to identify my warning message. So the warning message will appear only when this particular key is coming along with my platform event. So I have set up the key here as rating is incorrect. And the title of the toast, I can simply choose it as, let's say, a warning message. Right? And for the toast message, I can simply give a message that, let's say, annual, sorry, account rating should be hot. And we can also add an emoji over here. So let's search for very simple hot emoji to make it more good. I think this is fine, hot face. and I can simply add it to my message, right? Account rating is hot, and it's showing me a hot symbol, right? And for the toast variant, you can either select info, success, warning, or error. So these are the basic toast variant that we have in the system. And I'm going to choose warning because we are showing a warning here, right? And for the toast mode, I can choose either dismissible, pestle, or sticky. So these are again the sample toast mode that we have in Salesforce. So I'm going to choose sticky here so that we can see it. Uh, I mean, everyone can see it, and it doesn't vanish over 2 or 3 seconds or so. Okay, and we have another option here, run in system mode. So we'll talk about this later. And for now, I think this is fine, and I'm going to save this. Okay, right. I'm also going to activate this because this is the first time I'm changing my account detail page. So let's activate this and assign it as auth default for desktop and phone. It's fine. Okay. Okay, so I have updated my page, and I can now move back and see if the warning message is visible to me. Okay, so what will happen now behind the scenes when I'll update the account rating to something greater than 50,000, and if I don't change my account rating to hot, I mean, my system will actually fire a platform event, and that platform event will be captured by my Lightning component, and I'll show a toast here which says that your account rating should be hot, right? But my record will be saved because I have no validation rules or any kind of check that will stop me from saving a record, right? So our Lightning component is here, but it's not visible. So that's perfect. Let me now edit my account, and I can choose my annual revenue something greater than 50,000. So let's choose it as 60,000 now, and I can simply save this record, right? Okay, so here you can see that my record is saved, and I also got a warning message with the message that account rating should be hot, and this is my hot emoji that we pasted into our message, right? So this message is actually coming from a process builder that we have that from the event that we have set over from the process builder, and this is the warning message. So in this case, my my user is able to see save the record with an annual revenue which is greater than 50,000, and my rating is warm as well. And as soon I mean, apart from this, we are also getting a warning message that the account rating should be hot. So it's not actually mandatory to change your rating to hot, but the system is showing you that you should change the rating to hot, and it's better for you if you do so. So this is how you can actually show a warning message in Salesforce very easily by just installing an unmanaged package, right? And there are some considerations that I want to talk about. The first thing is that if you, I mean, there are two
Rahul,
options.
Rahul, sorry
Sorry.
for interrupting. I think Mayank is asking, can you repeat mapping of record types? So I think we can cover. And Mahesh is asking which event is used.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting. Yeah.
Just let me check out the chat window very quickly, and I'll show them.
Thank you.
No worries. Which event is used? Okay, so the first question I think is by Mahesh. Let's check out the event that we are using. So we are actually using platform events here that are available in Salesforce. So if I can go to setup very quickly, and we can here search for platform events. Just give me a second. So this is what we are using behind the scenes. Because when you actually install that unmanaged package, this platform event record is actually, I mean, object is actually created in your system. And here you can see that I'm having a platform event, which is of the name toast event, right? And here I have all the fields that I can set in my platform event, right? So this is what we are using behind the scenes. And when we are actually firing, I mean, creating a record from our process builder of the record type toast event, then this record type is being used. I mean, this platform event record I'm creating here. Okay, so can you repeat the mapping of the record type and the firing of the event? Mayank, for mapping of the record type, what we did, we actually just set up a key here, which is named as rating is incorrect. I mean, for the record type, we choose toast event because here, whenever you are actually choosing create a record in your process builder, you can select all the objects that are present in your system as well as you can select the platform event objects as well. So I should not say platform event objects, but I can simply say them as platform events. So your platform events are also visible as a record type in your process builder. I mean, it's possible to fire the platform event from the process builder, right? and the process to fire a platform event is to simply create a record. So we are actually creating a record of the platform event, which is of name toast event. So this platform event is visible here, and we are actually creating a record for that. And to identify that which particular platform event is fired, I have just specified a key, and I have also specified the key in my Lightning page as well. So if I just go to edit page and I can show you that component again. So if we just have a look at the component again, we can see that we have the same key which we have set here. So this is the key, rating is incorrect, and I have set up the same key in my process builder as well, rating is incorrect. So using this key, I'm actually identifying that you need to show up this particular warning message or this particular toast whenever you are getting this key. I mean, there are again two ways to set up a warning message. Either you can actually set up the messages from here, like the title of the message, the toast message variant and mode and all that stuff. You can also specify these fields from the process builder itself. So if you, I mean, this key I have used to specify or to find out which particular platform event is firing, so that I can specify or show the particular warning message. Okay, so mapping of record type and firing, I think it's clear. Mayank, please let me know if there's any issue. Okay, so it's clear. Let's move on to, I think, Mahesh, is your doubt also clear? Will you walk through the LWC component if possible? Yes, we can definitely go through to the LWC component as well if Om allow us, because I had only half an hour to complete the session, so that's why we are just going through the admin stuff right now. Okay. Apart from that, I am having a question that can't we use inline VF here instead of platform event and embedding Lightning component? Um, Shubham, I think there can be a number of scenarios, or I can say a number of things that you can use instead of actually filing a platform event, because platform event, I mean, I actually wanted to cover this later on when we are talking about the platform event limitations, but definitely, I mean, instead of an inline VF, if you want to use something else, I would recommend you to use a Lightning component and to set up some filters in the Lightning component itself. So if you want to show a warning message, you can also use a Lightning component. You can simply set up the filters that if my record field is this, then I'll show this particular message. But the one thing, or I can say one limitation that I found in this in setting up the Lightning component visibility was that I cannot actually set the filter using the related object field. So let's say I want to specify. Let's say we are actually talking about contact here, not account, right? And I want to check if my related account field is something, then I want to show a warning message, otherwise not. So in that case, my component visibility will fail, and I will not be able to use this, because here I can only use the fields that are actually related to the object page that is open right here. I cannot actually use related fields, but in case of process builder, you can actually move on to the related fields, and you can go up to the hierarchies to find out to actually set up the related object field as well. So this is where it comes really flexible as compared to the other options that we can have to show warnings in Salesforce, right? Because before platform events, people were actually using this component visibility features and using other things to show the warnings. But I got to know when I tried that we cannot use related object fields, and we were having a use case to where I need to use the related object field to show the warning. So instead of creating a separate component or separate VF page, I decided to go through this approach. Okay, I think it's fine with you, Shubham. Just let me know if you have any other query, and we can walk through the LWC component as well. Bablu, if the key is not same as process builder and Lightning pages, then are they work? Okay, Bablu. I would actually recommend you to use it yourself, and then you can come back to me with the response that whether it's working or not. Because I actually want you to try this yourself. Just install the unmanaged package in your org and try it again, and then you can come back to me if it works and if it doesn't, and then we can discuss over that why it works and why it don't. I mean, I'll just recommend you to use this particular key because it actually helps the component to identify which particular event is fired, and it can actually show the appropriate warning message. Because let's say let's say I don't have only a single platform event toast, I have multiple platform event toast, right? So let's say I just drag and drop this component 4 or 5 times here, and I set up different messages in different platform event toast components. So in that case, what it will, what is the I can say identification mark using which the component that can find out that it needs to show this particular message to the user, right? There should be an identification mark, right? That if that whether it has to show the warning message that you have set up here or not. So in that case, the unique key will actually be very useful to find out whether it has to show the message or not. And also the unique key will be used whenever you are actually going through some debugging stuff and you are actually finding the process builder, that which process builder I use to show this particular message. In that case, also unique key will be very useful to you. So that's why we have set up this unique key as a mandatory key. Okay, and Jatin, are we creating a new platform event record with the same detail every time using different process builders? Jatin, we are not actually using different process builders in this scenario. But yeah, our new platform event record is created. I mean, platform event records are basically records that will stay in your system for about 24 hours, and then they automatically vanish from the system, right? So whenever we are actually finding this condition, we are actually creating a new platform event record. And that's why I have checked this checkbox as well. Because let's say I again edit my account and I again save it. So this platform event record will not be created again because I have only specified the warning message when I encountered this condition for the first time. So when for the next time I'm getting this condition again and again, my platform event toast will not fire again and again and multiple records won't be created. Only this will only execute for the first time because I have checked this checkbox. So I'll get a warning first time, and I know that this is intentional. I have specified the rating as warm because I want it to be. So this will not appear to me again and again. I hope Jatin, your question is clear. Thank you. Okay, so Rupal is saying, can we check later that warning is actually appeared? Can we check later that warning is actually appeared? Drupal platform event toast are actually available for about 24 hours. So if you want to, check out the platform event bus and find out all the events that are there, you can check them out up till 24 hours, I should say. And I mean, this is not for some kind of audit trail or some kind of history that I need to check. And if you want to go through that approach, then the thing I think you should go for a component visibility in a Lightning component, or you can just modify this platform event toast to create a record as well. In that case, you can use something like that so that you have a history of the error messages that we appear. So like we use in projects when we actually work on Salesforce project, we sometimes create a separate object where we can actually store the exceptions. I can say that are actually happening in our Apex code, right? So you can actually create a simple custom object, and you can store a record in case you want the warnings to be stored to check them out later. But for this platform event toast, if I talk about, you cannot check out the warning that actually appeared in the past. But yes, if it's within 24 hours, you can check out the event bus to find out what happened. Can we have the GitHub link for this package? So Rupal, I think I answered your question. Just let me know if you have any other doubts. And Amit is saying, can we have the GitHub link for this package? I would like to explore this. Yes, Amit, you can have the GitHub link for this package. I'll I'll recommend you to actually explore it and let me know how it goes and what are the issues that you are facing, if there are any. Right. Okay. After that, I think Jatin got it. Thank you, Jatin. Amit is saying if we have multiple conditions in process builder, the key must be same for all. It doesn't matter on the conditions. I mean, it doesn't depend on the conditions. Amit, you can have multiple conditions in the process builder. It depends if you're firing warning messages. I mean, let's say you're firing a platform event toast in this condition as well, and you are firing a platform event toast in this condition as well. You can, and in that case, I'll recommend you to have two different ratings because you will be setting up two different Lightning components over here, and you will be setting up two different messages over here as well, right? And in case you want to show the same message in both the cases, then you can simply have a single key, and you can set up the single key in both the Lightning components. So it depends on the use case that you are dealing with, right? Okay, so Rupal actually got that. Thank you, Rupal. Amit actually got it. Thank you. So I think that's all for the questions, and we can actually check out the other things that I was about to talk. So the first thing that I want you guys to take care of when you are actually using this platform event host is the limitation of the platform events. Because if you are actually dealing with a small org or a medium sized to take care about the limitations of platform events. So in case you are having a small org or a medium sized org, I mean, there are thumbs up from my side, go for it. And it also depends on the condition that how much, I mean, at how many places you want to show the warning messages using these platform events. And if you're using platform events for any other stuff in your org or not. So depending upon these conditions, you can decide whether you should go for this approach or not. And in case you cannot go for this approach, if you are having a very large org and you are using platform events for some other purposes as well, then either you can check with your client if he can check out with Salesforce and increase the limit for platform events, because it is also possible to increase the limit of the platform events by checking out with Salesforce and requesting them to increase the limit. And in case you cannot increase the limit, you can simply go for the other things that we discussed in the chat, that you can simply create a lightning component with some filter visibility to show the warning messages, and that will stay steady on this particular page wherever you have embedded it, right? So I'm just going to add this link to the chat as well, so that you can check out the platform event limitations. And apart from that, I think the one last thing that I want to show you is that in case you are setting some messages from your process builder, then it will override the messages that you are having in your Lightning component. So there are two options. Either you can set your messages from the Lightning component itself, or you can set the messages from the process builder as well. So if you don't want the Lightning component to be editable, you can simply set the messages from here. Like I set the messages, this is a warning message, like that, right? And in that case, this message will be used whenever the platform event is fired, and it will automatically override the message whatever you are setting up in a Lightning component. So if you set up it from the process builder, it will override the message that is there in your Lightning component, and you will be able to see that particular message which you have set in the process builder, right? So you can also set the same things from here, and you can also set the same things from the Lightning component. So it's up to you how you want to use it. But in case you are using it for different purposes, or if you want to show different messages, I will recommend to use it from the Lightning component itself, because it's easier to update the message in this case. But in case you are using custom labels or something like that, so you can simply refer to them using the process builder. So that's why I have given this option as well. So in that case, you can use process builder. So it again depends on the use case. Okay, so apart from that, you can also run your process builder or the platform event toast in system mode. So in system mode, what will happen? It will not actually check for the user, and it will show the platform event, or I can say the toast event, to everyone that is present in your org as an active user. So in case you want to embed the component in your utility bar, let's say, and in case you want to show message to all the users that are there in your org, you can simply run it in system mode, and it will be visible to all the users. So in that case, it won't be user specific; it will be system specific message or warning message. So you can try out the system mode also, and you can let me know how it's working. And a good example of this use case can be when you want to have a utility bar in your Salesforce, and you want to actually, let's say you want to make an announcement, an org-wide announcement, that whenever somebody else is joining the sales team, you can simply pop up a success message over here, and you can show an announcement to all the users that are present in your org that, hey, this person joined our team today. So in that case, you can simply use the platform event toast to run in system mode, so that it's visible to everyone that are there in your org, right? That are having a users in your org. Okay, so I mean, this is all for platform event toast that we talked about, and I think yeah, that's all for this tutorial. Actually, I have a habit of saying that's all for this tutorial while making videos. I'm sorry for that, but I hope you liked the session, and you got to know and learn something new. And let me know if you have any other questions so that I can reply. Okay, so Rohit is saying if you set up at both the places, the component level and the process builder, which message will display? Rohit, if you set up at the message at both the places, the process builder will override the message that is in the component. So the process builder message will display in that case, not the component one. Okay. Okay. So any other questions? Link from where this unmanaged package is installed. Rajesh, that link is given in the GitHub repository from where the unmanaged package is installed. It's in the deployment section here. However, I can also give the URLs if you want, but I think just keep this link with you, the link of the GitHub repository, and you can check out the deployment section. And in the deployment section, you have the link to install the unmanaged package in the in the, I should say, developer environment also, or production environment, and in the sandbox also. Please provide link. I think I should give the links to install the packages. Okay, then this is the link to install it in the DevOps, and this is the link to install it in the QA environment. Okay, thank you, Abhishek. And yeah, that's all from my side, Om. You can continue, I think. Thank you,
Okay,
Vishal.
thank you, Rahul. Thank you very much. Okay, so if any question, let's wait next 2 minutes for any questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, Rahul, for very informative session. I can see lots of people are enjoying, and they are acknowledging us. So, okay, so now I think I have shared my screen. Yeah, as usual.
The comments, well, if you're
Okay,
interested to get
so
into the Lightning component.
hello everyone. We're planning to a quick talk for Lightning Web Component. If anyone, please, I think we have 5 or 6 interest. Then we'll go ahead. Yeah, you can see 3 interest here. Awesome, Rohit. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. So I think we can go ahead. So thank you very much once again. And I suggest, yeah, awesome, Rahul. Lots of response, I can
Okay,
see. So please
that's great
continue.
then. Okay,
And
just let me know if my screen is visible.
yes, Rahul, we can see. So
Okay. Okay, so what I did for this particular platform event toast, I'll go through both the things that we are doing. So the first thing is the platform event toast that we created through this platform event. Let's do the platform event. Okay, so I did nothing for this. This is just a new platform event object that I created here. You can just click on the new platform event and you can give the object name. It's similar to creating custom object like we do, right? And for the publish behavior, we have actually choose publish immediately so that I can see the toast immediately here, right? So this is the platform event toast. Toast event that I created, right? And I have some of the fields in my platform event like key, message, toast, title, and variant, right? And in case of key, I think I should have made it required so that it should be in our process builder whenever I'm creating it, right? So yeah, here you can see that the key is mandatory and none of the other fields that are there in my platform event are mandatory, but I can set them to the process builder as well, and I can set them in my Lightning component as well. So these are the messages. These are the fields that I'm using in my platform event. So this is what I created, and it's a part of the package. And so that's all about the platform event that we are using in this particular platform event toast. And now let's move on to the Lightning Web component that we are using, right? Okay, so this is the Lightning Web component that we are using here. I have created a generic LWC component and I have set up the targets. I just thought about where we can actually drag and drop and use this Lightning component. So I have set up the targets accordingly, like we can use it in the record page, app page, home page, communities, flow screen, as well as the utility bar. Because in case you want to make a system level announcement, you actually need to embed the component in the utility bar, right? And apart from that, what we have some of the I should say what can I say then design parameters that we can set from the our page builder as well. So if I just go to the detail page and I can go to the edit page, I can set out some of the like key message and other variables from the detail page as well, right? So for that, I have actually created design parameters here. Like you can see the toast keys I can give. I have given a label as unique key to identify the toast title, toast message, toast variant, toast mode, and run in system mode checkbox that we are getting, right? So all the design parameters that we are actually able to see in our page builder are actually set up from there in our LWC component. So this is basically the meta file where I have specified everything. So it's similar to the design parameters that we actually specify in Aura, but in case of LWC, we actually specify these in the meta file. So I have done it like that, right? Okay, I think it's taking a little time. But I think got that, right? I mean, they are just the design parameters that we are setting up from by going into the edit page, and we are actually setting up the information from there. So these design parameters are actually bounded by the variables that I have set up in my JS file. So if I go to my JavaScript file in case of Lightning Web Component, you can see here I have specified some of the variables like toast keys, toast title, toast message, toast variant, toast mode, and running system mode, right? So these are the 6 variables that I can set up from my design parameters. So I have specified these variables with the API annotator, I should say. So this annotation I have used because I need to actually expose these variables as a design parameter. Or if even if I'm calling this component from a parent component, I can say I need to use the @API annotation to specify or make this variable as public. So if you can just go a little down. So here you can see, guys, in the line number, just go above Om. Sorry, just move
No,
above at the top.
it's mm-hmm.
Okay, so what we did, we actually imported the subscribe, unsubscribe, and on error element from the Lightning EMP API. So these 3 things are mainly going to use when we are dealing with platform event toast, because when we are actually using platform event toast in Lightning component, we have an EMP API which is built by Salesforce for that, right? So we imported 3 things: subscribe, unsubscribe, and on error methods from the EMP API. I think, Om, you can zoom your browser window because it's actually smaller to me as well.
Now good.
Perfect. Amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so subscribe, unsubscribe, and on error are basically the methods that are visible that are available to us by Lightning EMP API, and we can use it to deal with platform events, right? So I have just imported them, and Om, if you just move a little below, you'll see the subscribe method that I have called below the connected callback. Yeah, so you can see that the subscribe method is being called, and I have given the channel name that we set above. So the channel name is basically slash toast event underscore e, like I told you before, right? So I have specified a channel name, and I have specified a callback method, which is named as toast callback. So this method will automatically call whenever the Lightning component is subscribing to the platform event toast, right? So I mean, what it is doing actually behind the scenes, it is actually checking if the toast event record is created or not in the platform event bus. So whenever it is actually subscribing to the platform event bus, so that we can be notified whenever a platform event record is created, right? So it is actually going to subscribe to that particular platform event bus, and on error method is basically going to just show the error if it is not able to connect to the bus, or if there is any other particular error, right? So what it is doing actually, it is actually subscribing to the bus, and it is having the toast callback method, which will be called whenever there is a record created in the platform event. So Om, if you just move a little above, we will be having a toast callback over subscribe. So guys, yeah, just this. So here you can see we have a toast callback, which is a method which is receiving the platform event whenever it is created. It will be received here, right? And and what we are doing, we are actually getting the data of our platform event. So all the data that we have specified, like the message of the platform event and the key and the anything else, because we are setting the key from the process builder mainly, so we'll be getting the key here. And even if we specify other fields from the process builder, we'll be getting all the keys or all the fields there as an object, or I can say as a JSON object, right? So what I'm checking in the toast data that if I'm getting the key, because key is required, and if this key is present in the toast keys that I'm using in my Lightning component. So I've just because the my ci.toast keys is basically an array that I'm getting from the Lightning component, and if this key that I'm getting from the process builder is actually present in my array, then in that case I need to show a toast event, right? So Om, if you can just scroll a little down. So here you can see I'm actually specifying a toast event, which is nothing but Salesforce standard toast, and I'm simply dispatching that toast event, and I'm getting all the data from the platform events, like which is present in the toast data object, and I'm actually using that toast data object here, right? So I'm simply specifying the data using the toast data object because it's coming from my platform event, and I'm actually dispatching the platform event by using ci.dispatch event method, and I'm giving the toast event in the parameter simply. So this is actually firing my toast and showing my toast by getting the data from the platform event. And in case my data is not actually available from my platform event, I'm using ci dot toast title. If you can just move a little on the right side of the file. No, on the right side, sorry. Yeah. So here you can see I'm using the toast title, toast message, toast variant. So ci.toast title, ci.toast message are the messages that I'm setting from a Lightning component, and same messages that I'm getting from the process builder. So this is where I'm actually overriding the process builder key values from the actual values that I have set up in my Lightning component. So in case the data is coming from my platform event or my process builder, I'll use that. In case it is not coming from my process builder, I'll simply use the data that I have specified in my Lightning component. So I have actually used a ternary operator here to check out if the data is coming in from my platform event pod or not. So in case it's coming, I'll use that. Otherwise, I'll use the data which is set up in my Lightning component, right? So I think apart from this, let me just check out. Uh, yeah, Om, if you can just move a little above.
Sure.
So here what we are checking, we are actually checking if the component is actually running in system mode, because in case it's not running in system mode, I'm checking that the platform event created by ID is similar or is equal to the current user ID. So here I'm checking if you are the one person who has actually fired the platform event and who is actually going to and expecting to see the warning message. So in case it is running in user mode, it will check that you are the user who have created a platform event. That means you have actually performed a transaction, and only you will see the message. So in case it's running in system mode, it will skip this check because I have added an or condition there, and it will simply show the message to everyone that is present in the system and have that page opened. So in case you want to make an org wide announcement by using the utility bar or something that I told you, in that case you can simply use the system mode, and it will show the toast message to everyone that is having that utility bar and component embedded over it, right? So this is how it's working, and I mean, this is all about the code. This is a very simple Lightning Web Component that is having hardly 50 to 60 lines of code, I think. And at the end we have a disconnected callback. So Om, if you can just move at the last, we are having a disconnected callback. We are actually unsubscribing from the platform event bus over there, because in case my component is removed from the DOM, it will actually unsubscribe the platform event bus. So yeah, that's all what we have in the code.